What's up, everybody? Daniel's Racing 35 here. I have my Subaru Forester here. My world famous, not really. I'm going to show you how to change the oil. It's easy. No brain required. Not really. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to pop the hood, which is located right about there. Boom. Pop the hood. I'm going to put you down for 2 seconds, and you're going to look at the radiator. Here we go. Hood is up. What I like to do is just go like that, and also don't take it off, but loosen it like that. Okay? Next thing I like to do is jack up the car on the driver's side. You'll see why in a moment. Alright, so I am here underneath the car. This is the oil pan right here. This is what holds all the oil when your engine is off. And when the oil pump, which is right here, that the oil pump pumps the oil and it all cycles back to right here. This is the drain plug right here. It is an 17 mil. I don't know why it's a 17, but it's a 17 mil socket that will be required to take this off. The reason I jack up the car on the right side is because, the left side, the driver's side, is because this is on the right side of the vehicle. So you will want to take your oil drain guy here, and I'm gonna jack the car up real quick. Alright, car's all jacked up. Your next step, if I can reposition the camera a little bit, there's a jack. If you can see, hopefully, your next step is to take the oil filter off. I have already done this because I did not want splashback on my my camera, because I don't have my waterproof housing with me. This is what the old oil filter looks like. This one is a Purelator PL14460, and it's a Purelator Pure 1. Do not use Fram. Fram used to be a good company, now they suck. Your next task is to take a ratchet, or even a 17 mil wrench. Yep, because that's loosening it. Yep, totally. I do believe. Alright, I want to go this way. Why in the world is this not working? I did go the right way. I am a moron, and I call myself a mechanic. Yep. So you're going to want to crack that loose, and then what I do, because the oil's kind of hot, so because we opened the oil fill up top, it's going to come out a lot quicker, and because the oil filter's off, it's going to come out a lot quicker than normal. So I just kind of push until I feel it click, see, and then whoop, just like that. And I only got a little bit on my fingers. So there's all my nasty, yucky, I just said yucky on YouTube, oil. I think that's a little more than what was supposed to be in there. The last oil change on this vehicle was done by Jiffy Lube, and I was very unimpressed. So, you wait for it to finish draining, like so. And the purpose of jacking the car up, if I didn't already say, is the drain plug is on this side, and you jack it up on that side so that all the oil comes out. Even though the oil pan is designed to be opened level, that's kind of like an old school trick that I still do. I'm a new school guy doing an old school trick. So I am unprepared for the next step, so I'm going to pause and I shall return. Alright, so I am back. The oil has slowed to a very, very small drip. Here's the new oil filter. What you do, just grab a little on your finger and run it around the seal. And what that does is that ensures a good seal. And it also gives you a little lubrication to crank it down a little. You don't really want to crank it, but if you know, you have a leak, then that's kind of bad news bears. Also, I like to put some on the threads. It's not really necessary because there's some all over the threads up here where the oil filter actually threads in, but it's just a thing that I like to do. So, make sure it's not cross-threaded, and give it a nice little twist. This guy is done. You're supposed to replace the copper washer, but I couldn't afford, and it suited me just fine for the past, you know, however long. That's not a good thing to have on there. It suited me just fine for the past, you know, year or so that I've had this car. So you put that on finger tight. Make sure this time that your wrench is set to tighten. And you don't need to torque it down all that much. You don't need to go all He-Man on it. Just kind of tighten it a little. And we're going to go up to the top of the car, where I have my oil of choice, Pennzoil. Alright, so let's situate this like so. I really wish I had my mounts. If you fall down, I apologize. I don't have any of my mounts that I usually use. So, we're going to replace that. You know what? We're going to keep it like that because then it'll go in quicker. So now that we are sure that the oil filter has been replaced and is nice and tight, and the oil drain plug is nice and tight, we're going to add the oil. Look up how much oil your vehicle takes and add the oil. For mine, it's 4.2 quarts. So what I did was I had about a half a quart already in the car because my engine likes to burn oil. Not much, but it likes to. It's a Subaru. And just kind of doesn't have to all go in, but just get it so that it's, you know, nice and whatever. Get your second quart. This is where learning to edit would come in, because then I could speed this up and you wouldn't have to listen to me ramble. But who doesn't like watching oil drip slowly into an oil fill? I know I sure don't. Well, I poured a little too quick and lost a little over the side. And if you do spill a little, it's not the end of the world. Just don't spill, you know, half a quart. And, you know, I won't call you a failure. The quartage will change from vehicle to vehicle. If you have, you know, a car with a V6 or a car with a V8 or something like that, it'll be a little different from car to car. So it's good to look that up before you start, because let's say you're working on your car and it's your only vehicle, such as, you know, this one is mine. Then if you find you need more oil, or, you know, a different part, different oil filter or something like that, then you know, I guess you could always put the old stuff back in, but that would I would not advise that at all. If you do that, you're stupid. I'd walk to the store before I did that, and I got 2 bad knees. Shut up, Troy. So, we are on our last quart of oil. And the reason I'm pouring it like this with the, I know it would seem easier to do the nozzle closer to the oil fill spout, but it's actually the oil cans, or whatever you want to call them, the jugs, they're actually designed to be poured like this. I forget exactly what it is, but the slope here gives you a lot more control, or ease of access to the oil or whatever. So we will push this guy back down. We will close this off. We will pull this guy up, wipe it off, push it back in, giggity, and check the oil. So, as you can see, it's still not ready to be checked. I need to let it sit a little bit, but it is kind of on the full line. So, I'm probably going to run it for a little bit, and then I have another about half a quart of oil over there between the disconnected ABS modulator and all that stuff. So this is my engine. That is how to change the oil on pretty much any Subaru. Yeah, that's the jack that I use. It's still up in the air, but basically that's all there is to it. It's very easy to change the oil. The same process goes for almost every car. Let me get out of the sun. Or the camera out of the sun. Almost every car. You can, I'm not sure about, like rotary engines or anything, because I've never really worked on one. But, with V8s, with, anything really. Get onto the car, undo the drain plug, undo the oil filter, drain it, replace the parts that need to be replaced, such as the oil filter. Never really use an old oil filter, because that's not, what's the point of changing the oil if you're not going to change the filter? And then put the drain plug back in. Make sure it's back in before you put the new oil back in, because that would not be fun, because you'll just leak new oil everywhere, and you'll waste however much a quart or whatever that you pay for. And add the oil, and you're pretty much set. Your oil light, when you turn the car on, you start the car, your idiot light, the oil light, will stay on for a couple seconds, a few more than normal. But once the oil, because you just took everything out and put everything back in, so what it's going to do is it's going to reprime the system and all that stuff. So after that, then you're good. So simple video. I was just bored, and there's a million things on YouTube of how to change oil, but mine's better because I'm nice and friendly, and I don't use crazy jump cuts like Scotty Kilmer. So